Allianz Global Investors follows an approach which is called integrated ESG, which means we want to embed ESG analysis into all of our investment processes, into all of our portfolios, to make it a real integral component of all of our products and processes. The dividend strategy actually was one of the first strategies to embrace this approach. And when you look at how we have always been managing this portfolio, sustainability was always important for us in the sense of we want to have sustainable dividends. Very important, the sustainability of the dividends. So there's a small step to embracing ESG because this is about the sustainability of the companies. It's about mitigating tail risks, which is what we are exactly looking for. So ESG analysis sits very well with the overall investment philosophy of the dividend strategy and actually enhances our view on those dividend paying capabilities of the companies which we are looking at. So it's not a change in the investment process, but it is in fact an enhancement which, as I said, has a great fit with our process so far. I think there's a great benefit for investors potentially. When we look at what integrated ESG is about, then this is not only about identifying risks on environmental, social or governance levels, E, S and G, but this is also about having a dialogue with the companies in order to mitigate these risks. So once we have identified a risk, we want to work with the companies which we are investing in to actually mitigate these risks, so help them to become better companies. And if they become better companies, this will most likely also have some impact on the share price or dividend paying capabilities, so it will pay off in the end for us as investors. There are plenty of examples, obviously, because we engage with the majority of our portfolio holdings on E, S or G related matters. It's, as I said, not only about identifying these risks, so know about these risks, be aware, but it's really the next step which is important. Engage with the companies in order to offer solutions, in order to discuss what can be done to mitigate these risks. So this level of engagement is something which is very important for us as a company, but also with regard to this particular strategy. And there are plenty of examples. When we talk about this engagement, there is engagement which can obviously be done relatively simply and which leads to results quite quickly. So when we talk about governance issues, this is something which can be identified quite quickly, and sometimes the solution, if the companies want to cooperate, can be found also quite quickly. But there are also other topics when it comes to environmental issues, for example, which take a bit more time. But obviously we are also having this discussion. If you look, for example, at the energy companies, which are a good part of our portfolio, they are not oil companies anymore, but they are in fact energy companies, because they have been building up portfolios of renewable energy as well, and because they are aware of the thinking around environmental issues, and there's increasing pressure also from the investor side, including us. They continue to move in this direction, and we obviously want to support them to move in this direction. So this is one of the discussions which we have. Another very common discussion is on the governance level. We often criticize the decomposition of the board. We are very critical with regard to compensation, because what's been given out to the board, for example, is not available for us as investors anymore. So there's a certain trade-off between incentivizing the management in the right way. They should get paid well, obviously, but we obviously also don't want to overdo it, because this will come at our expense. And Allianz Global Investors is very vocal about this, and we have a lot of touch points with our companies on issues like this, for example.
安聯投資。